Hey guys, Mr. Short Hitter here.
You don't look like a short hitter to me.
Got a pretty special video today. Today, if your goal is to break 80, this video is the video for you. You're going to learn some key points to break an 80 from a 14-year-old. So unfortunately for me, I was never the athlete from when I started, when I was 12 years old, to high school, to college. I was always shorter than all the players that I competed against. And even today, I'm way shorter than the guys I compete against. I learned to put a premium on accuracy. I remember in high school, there was a player on the team. He called me grandma because he said I hit the ball like a grandma. For some reason, I always beat him. And I remember being in my late 20s to where I hadn't seen him in a while, and he was still raving about his 300-yard drives. And we went out to play again, and I beat him by 12 shots, and still he's talking about how he hit it 300 yards all day. 119.6 wins behind me, a little left to right. Another thing I learned as a 14-year-old is not to worry about what the other players are hitting. Don't worry if they're hitting a pitching wedge and you're hitting a 8-iron or 7-iron. All that matters is getting the ball on the green or close to the green. Got a front pin here. A little left, but it should be okay. So another thing I learned as a 14-year-old, that those players that were hitting sand wedges, where I was hitting 9-irons or 8-irons, they were kind of counting on hitting their best shot, and they were short a lot more than I was, where I was pin high or past the pin more often, and I normally could two-putt for par. Not sexy playing a 320-yard hole with a driver and a full pitching wedge, but it's par nonetheless. 372-yard par 4, dogleg right, out of bounds right, water left, into the wind. So another thing I learned as a 14-year-old is if you're trying to break 80, there's holes that if you get a field of scratch golfers on the golf course, they're not going to par all the holes. So why would I take a hole that's 372, out of bounds right, water left, trees, and get up here and try to just hit driver and rip it down there between all of that? Even though the scorecard says this is a par 4, we don't have to play it like one. I'm going to take this 4 hybrid down there. High and safe. So when I was 14, we couldn't use rangefinders, but I did a lot of walking off. I would walk off a golf course from sprinkler heads, yardage markers, certain trees, and I would have it marked how far it was. But in this instance, we can use a rangefinder, and I see the tree on the right, 92 yards. There's another tree that's beyond that that's 115. The creek on the left, the widest point, is at 130. So what that tells me is the widest area for me to land this ball to avoid the tree and the creek is between 115 to 130. If I hit a ball in that area, that's going to leave me less than 100 yards to that pin. And that's what a 14-year-old Mr. Short Hitter would be looking for. So we're going to hit a 9-iron. Wind's picking up a tad. If it was any stronger, I might consider going to 8. We're going to take it right in the middle of those, between the tree and the creek, and it's a 30-yard wide landing area to land it in. Mission accomplished. So guys, I'm not going to try to pretend that to break 80, you don't have to be able to hit shots. You have to be able to hit it in this area that I was referring to. I hit 9-iron. I had about a 35-yard area to hit it in. 38. I had 38 yard wide landing area to hit it in. Now, this shot, we're looking at having 100 yards or less. We've got 99.8 yards. So, are you going to hit the green from 100 yards every time? No. So pretty consistently, you're going to have to hit it inside 30 feet or so from 100 yards if your goal is to break 80. Because in this instance, we played a hole that's a layup hole. We left ourselves a third shot here. So if we start pushing it outside of 30 feet, give a possibility of making double. Okay, blue pin, 99.8 yards. The wind looks like it let up a little bit, so we will hit a 48. It's going to be a pretty full one. That was a good swing. Hey guys, this putt should break a little bit. Guys, life is getting more and more expensive. Now there's some ways you can save money. You can get a part-time job. Hi, delivery from Mr. Short Hitter. What a nice dog. Yeah, just need your signature here. Where at? Okay. Okay, here you go. Okay, thank you very much. All right, thank you. All right, have a good day. Oh, these are clubs I have to review. You could save some money by cutting off those appliances. So guys, I really want to thank you for watching the video. Or maybe salesman's best friend. Hey, you want to buy a dog? But I think you should check out this video's sponsor, Golf Ball Planet. Golf Ball Planet has been the #1 supplier of used golf balls since 1997. They have an excellent 9.6 rating, and I've heard nothing but good things since I've introduced my viewers to Golf Ball Planet. And you can also save 18% by using my code MSH18. I also put a link in the description. Right to left. We're going to play it on the right edge here. Now, another thing I learned as a 14-year-old was to control my emotions. I never got too excited if I made a birdie, or around 14, I learned to never get too upset on a golf course. Controlling your emotions is pretty important. I got a comment in a video, I think it was in the senior championship, to where I chipped in and the guy told me that I should have celebrated a little bit more on that birdie. I thought it was kind of a strange comment, but I do understand, because I do tend to go a little bit overboard with controlling my emotions. So let me tell you a quick story. Well, a few quick stories actually. The first one was on this par 3, playing about 201 yards at the time. The ground was firm back then. I could carry the ball 160, 170 yards and let the ball roll. And I was playing with Brian from the Paul Downey Cup video and hit a shot, nice high 5-iron, bounces, rolls, goes in the hole. I'm sitting on this tee box, just kind of normal. And Brian is running around. He throws his club in the air. He's running around the tee box saying, "It went in the hole, it went in the hole." And then he looks behind us at this tee over here. And there was a couple guys going up, teeing off there. And we were walking. So he asked them to go to the green, look in the hole. And sure enough, the ball was in the hole. And Brian was so excited, a lot more excited than me, and I just got the hole-in-one. Another hole-in-one I got was in the Ziegfeld Troy Open, and you guys remember that course from the birthday video. I got a hole-in-one at that course in the tournament on the longest par 3. I think it was about 160 yards. And again, the guy I was playing with was just running around. He was like, "You knocked it in the hole, you knocked it in the hole." If you knock it in the hole and you get a hole-in-one, get excited, because not many people do that. Let's say if I hit this drive and sliced it out into the trees on the right. Okay guys, we've got about 125 yards here. It's got to hit a low hook under this tree, make it rise, go over the next tree, and go between the second and third trees. Yes, it's very exciting on YouTube to see players thread a needle, hit it between 2 or 3 trees, hook the ball around, and knock it on the green. But the reality is, how often are those players really going to pull off that shot? What are the percentages of making that shot? I can stand here long enough and take 10, 15, or 20 shots and probably knock one on the green inside of 15 or 20 feet. But in golf, we only get one shot. So as a 14-year-old, I learned that it's a lot better to take a 7-iron, and chip the ball back into the fairway. Got 77 yards here. We go with a 54-degree wedge. A little left. So another thing I learned as a 14-year-old is putting is hard. So one thing I learned is the easiest way to make more putts is to chip the ball, pitch the ball, and hit bunker shots closer to the hole. If you gave Steve Stricker a 10-foot putt and you gave me a 2-foot putt, I'm going to make more 2-footers than he's going to make 10-footers. So I learned how to hit all different types of shots around the greens so that I can give myself a shorter putt. You're probably wondering, why are these balls on the green, and what does that have to do with breaking 80 or a 14-year-old? So guys, when I was a kid, we didn't have much money, but one thing I learned is where there's a will, there's a way. There was a couple areas, one by my old grade school and two by this high school, where I could go out, take a shag bag of balls and hit to my heart's content. This area is massive. So one thing I did before I even understood what the term dispersion meant, I was actually figuring out my dispersion. I would hit balls just like this with every club in my bag. I would take a pitching wedge and hit 40 or 50 shots at this makeshift green. And I would walk up to the green with a notebook, kind of like this, and then I would pace off every single ball from the center line as I pick up all 50 golf balls. So from that exercise, I would then chart on that notebook where all the balls were, how far left they were, how far right they were, short, long. I would basically draw a diagram on my notebook, so when I got to the golf course, I knew where to aim every single golf club in my bag. And that's how I played golf. I hit a lot of bad shots, but they ended up being close to the hole because I was aiming correctly. Now today, we have simulators where we can go and hit ball after ball after ball, and we can look at a diagram of where our shots are flying with each club. We can actually do the same thing on course using an app. If you put the data in, you could get the results out. Basically, you can take a shortcut to doing what I did when I was 14 years old, but now we have technology that can make it a lot easier for us. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun going back in time and remembering how I played 37 years ago, what it took for me to go from shooting 130 for 18 holes to breaking 80 over the course of a summer. Some of those tips I think just might help your game. So leave down in the comments section what your favorite tip was and what your golf goal is for 2024. And if you liked the video, like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, Mr. Short Hitter, out. 5 holes to go, just play 13.